Hi, this is Renee with Fraley Farm Mini Homestead. As many of you guys saw in a previous short video that I posted, I have a chicken that has a bumblefoot. Oh my goodness, and I know it is so painful. So in case you're not familiar with bumblefoot, basically what happens is the chickens have a pad on the bottom of their feet that is pretty darn tough. But what can happen is, as these chickens are walking around in everything, poo, rocks, sand, grass, etc., they will develop a pore on the bottom of their foot, and then that will fill with debris. Most of the time what happens is that debris and that pore will become infected, and it swells and becomes very uncomfortable for the chicken, and they will develop what they call a bumblefoot. It's basically like a kernel on the bottom of the foot. So let me show you what her foot looks like. So this is Daphne. She's not real happy with me right now, so this might be a little bit of a struggle. Let me see if I can get a good grip on her. But she's not happy. All right, and hopefully you can see this. That foot is a mess. Oh my goodness. And you see that big old kernel on the bottom? That is the bumble. But what has also happened is she has significant swelling all around the foot. The bad thing is, when you have chickens, if you're like me, I let my chickens out during the day, and then a lot of times I'm doing my business, and then when I go to put them up at night, they're already on their roost. So sometimes I don't get a chance to see the feet. But you want to try to observe the feet as much as possible, and you want to keep an eye on your chickens when they're walking, because sometimes when that bumble becomes painful, they may walk with a limp. So what I'm going to do first is, I've got a tote over here that's got some warm water in it. I'm going to add maybe about a cup of Epsom salt, kind of stir that up a little bit, and then I'm going to place her in the warm water for about 20 minutes. And we'll be back. So here's my tote with the warm water, and I'm just going to add maybe 1/4 of a cup, 1/2 a cup of Epsom salt. Nothing major. No particular brand is necessary, and just kind of stir that up. And then, like I said, we're going to place the chicken down in the warm water. You can go ahead and put her in. And then she may or may not like it. I'm going to cover it up so she'll stay in there for about 20 minutes. Go ahead and let go. Let go. All right, so we'll let that sit for about 20 minutes to make sure that that softens her foot. And it also will probably kind of soothe her foot. You know, just like you, if you have a sore foot, you want to soak it in some Epsom salt. That feels good, y'all. So that will soften the kernel and soften that bumble. And then that way I can get to work. So we'll be back in a few minutes, y'all. All right, so while my chicken is soaking, I want to go ahead and show you guys the supplies that I am going to use for this procedure. So like I said, we have a tote that's got some warm water. You just need it just high enough to cover the feet of the chicken. You don't have to, you know, have it 10 inches high. You don't want the water so darn hot that you end up with fried chicken. We just want to have it warm, and we just want to get those feet soaking, y'all. So we've got some Epsom salt. I've got some hand sanitizer for myself. I like to use those cotton rounds or the oval pads, because that way I can cut them into, like you see little slits there, or little slices there, and I can put those between the toes of my chicken. So I've also got some hydrogen peroxide. It doesn't really matter the percent. That's just a cheap bottle I found at one of them dollar stores or something, and then I just keep refilling it. I've also got some Hibby Cleanse, which is chlorhexidine. You don't have to use this. You can just use some peroxide. And then what I did is I poured it into another little spray bottle right next to it. I've got some Q-tips. I've also got some what we call vet tape, which is this tape that will, it's a dressing. It actually sticks to itself. Now listen, y'all gonna see some critters out here, because it is nighttime and we are out here trying to film this outdoors. So y'all might see some little critter bitters, but don't talk about me. I'm human. And we're outside, y'all, underneath a big old light. You see I've got some scissors. I've got a hemostat, a scalpel, a pickup. I've got my, oh Jesus, these bugs, y'all. Woo! Antibiotic ointment, and of course, you know, you've got some gloves. Let me also show you guys my first aid kit here. I like to keep this around for my chickens. So I've got some Vet RX. I got Rooster Booster. Let's see what else I got in here, y'all. Sorry for all the movement here. I got some probiotics, you know, for chickens. I've got some blue coat. I got some Vetericin. This is a bag that's got some other stuff in it, like extra syringes, etc. And then I've got some oregano oil to boost their immune system. And then also some more peroxide. All right, so we have Daphne. She is swaddled in a towel. And with inspection of the feet, you can see she's got bumbles on both feet. This is the one that's the real bad problem child. And then we have a second bumble over here on this side. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to take my pickups. I don't know if you can see this little instrument here. And basically get a good grip on her. We're going to clean her feet as much as possible. I'm going to start with the better one first, because that's the one that's the least infected. I'm going to clean this with some chlorhexidine, which, like I say, is what we call Hibby Cleanse. I'm going to try to clean that whole foot as much as possible. Now, you guys might see a few little critters out here, like I said, because we are outside and underneath the light. So it is 90-some degrees out here. We are in Zone 6B in Kentucky. And man, oh man, is it hot. Holy cow, it's hot and sweaty and humid and ugh. All kinds of good toasty juices out here when you come outside in Kentucky, y'all. All right, let me spray this one more time. This is not perfect. We're not in the operating room, y'all, but I still want to try to keep this as clean as possible. When you're cleaning the area, make sure you clean the area of concern first. So you always go from clean to dirty. All right, good deal. So basically I'm going to grab my pickups and try to grab this old hard kernel here. And she's not going to like this. And yes, it is going to bleed some, y'all. That's pretty much normal. Just going to try to pull this old kernel out of here as best I can. It's coming slowly. I'm going to take my scalpel blade and kind of work on this a little bit. And like I say, they will have some bleeding. That is normal. So you can see there's some kernel contents down in here. Looks like a big old kernel, like if you had a pimple as a teenager. Try to squeeze some of that out. You can see that old cheesy stuff down inside it. And I want to try to remove as much of this as possible. I'm sure this is extremely painful. I can only imagine if I was walking around on this. Bumblefoot is very common for chickens because, like I say, they're walking around in all kinds of nasty stuff constantly, all day, every day. So I can get this cleaned out some more. I don't know if many of you guys know, but I'm in medicine. But veterinarian medicine is different from humans, y'all. It is not the same. So like I said, I want to dig in here and try to get as much of this nastiness out of here as possible. Y'all probably hearing cars drive by because we're outside. Imagine my neighbors are out here wondering what the lights are for and what I'm out here doing. Come over here, girl. Get that out. So like I said, I'm just going to try to clean as much of this kernel out as possible. And usually once you clean it out, that pretty much takes care of it. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, let me get my glove off here, and I'm going to grab this peroxide and spray it and clean it off real good, and then I'm going to put a dressing on it. Of course, this peroxide is probably going to burn, and she's not going to like it. Just want to try to clean out that pocket as much as possible. Alright, I'm going to switch gloves and put another glove on here, and then we're going to dress this one up. That second bumble was very much an unexpected finding. I didn't expect that, but that's real common because you have to remember they got 2 feet. They're constantly walking on both feet. So yeah, they're going to have bumbles on both. That's real common. Every once in a while you'll just get 1 bumble, but probably majority of the time you'll have 2. I'm going to go ahead and squirt a little bit of some antibiotic ointment down in here. And then get this wrapped up. I'm going to go ahead and take one of these cotton pads. Well, let's see. Actually, I'll take the one that's got the slices in it there. And then I'm going to take my vet tape. And like I say, this sticks to itself. And just try to wrap it gently around the foot. But not, you don't want to block their toes, you know, because they still have to be able to move properly. You don't want to wrap it too tight because you don't want to strangulate their feet. And plus, you got to take this off and change the dressing, so you don't want it so tight that you can't get in here and change it. Now, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut a hole in this. I'm going to put her toe inside that. I just need enough just to keep the dressing on, okay? And like I say, you don't want to wrap it extremely tight, but you want it to be just slightly snug, so that way this dressing will stick to itself, and that way she can still walk on that foot. All right, let me clean my instruments real quick. We're going to work on the second one. So when I'm cleaning, of course, I just clean off as much as I can, and I use some hand sanitizer. Then we're on round 2. Let me go ahead and cut up one of these rounds in strips too, so that one will be ready. This is just what I like to do. Some people may look at this and say I'm not doing it right, but that's what works for Renee. If you ever do this, you just kind of have to do it the way that works the best for you. You know, as I always say, no 2 people are going to agree when it comes to farming or raising your animals, because I know on here sometimes people they get real bold on here. They like to say some nasty stuff, y'all. You'd be surprised at some of the things that people say. People are not always nice on the internet, unfortunately. And again, where you're going to work, that's where you want to clean first. Now, she's got several large bulbous areas on her foot. I think she's even starting to develop some abscesses. I may have to lance these areas, y'all. We'll work on the toenails last. Now, one good thing about letting them soak in the warm water is it also helps to clean their feet. So if you look in the water where she was soaking, man, it is a mess. Woo! All right, so we're going to work on this one here. See if this wants to come off very easily. I got a feeling it's going to be pretty tough too. I'm just going to kind of take my scalpel and just kind of nick away at it. Ooh-wee, pus coming out of that one, y'all. I knew this one was in bad shape. Hold on, mama. This will feel so much better when this heals up. Grab a couple paper towels here. Sorry if I'm getting in front of the camera, but I gotta do as best I can with working. Oh, I'm sorry, Mama. Goodness sake, I know that hurts. Get the contents of this old nasty bumble out of here. You can see there's quite a bit of pus in here too, so I'm sure this is going to feel a whole lot better. A lot of times with chickens, when you lay them on their back, they get really, really super calm. There's pus and everything coming out of this bad boy here, man. Whew. Yeah, this will feel a whole lot better. Have any of you guys ever had to deal with Bumblefoot? Feel free to leave me some comments and let me know what you guys do. I know some people also like to use I think it's something called ichthymol, which is what they call drawing salve. Also helps to draw some of this pus and fluid out, brings it more to the surface. Another big old kernel. Hopefully this video is not too grotesque for you guys, but you know, it's the real thing. This is what we deal with when you have animals. Now that looks better. Might still be another little piece inside of here. I'm sorry, Mama. I'm sorry. Oh, goodness sake. Yes, ma'am, I know. Goodness sake. Another little piece in there. Hold on, Mama. Hold on, Mama. Alright, make sure I don't see any more chunks in there. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and clean off this area here. Let that bubble out a little bit. Alright, now I'm going to take a look at some of these other areas, because like I said, I'm pretty concerned that she's got an abscess on some of these other ones. I'm going to see if I can lance it and see if anything comes out of it. It's going to kind of cut the skin a little bit and just allow any pus to freely come out. Hold on, Mama. Hold on, Mama. I'm sorry, Mama. Oh, yeah. Look at there. I'm so sorry. Oh, my goodness. So I got this pocket emptied, but there's another pocket right here, so I'm going to lance that too. There we go. There's a kernel there. Oh, goodness. It's like squeezing out a giant pimple. All right, we got one big one right here. Let's get this one too. Hopefully this will be it. What I'm doing is just trying to find the softest point. Over here is firm, right here is soft and fluffy. So I'm going through the soft and fluffy part. See if I can get that kernel out of this one. I know there's one in here. There we go. This stuff comes out almost like cottage cheese. Like I said, it's like an old teenage pimple. Just trying to remove as much debris as possible out of here so that way it will go ahead and heal up. All right, I'm gonna switch my gloves and I'm gonna get some peroxide and I'm gonna irrigate down inside that opening so that way I can try to clean it out as much as possible. Pour a little bit of peroxide down in here. All right, I'm gonna grab some more gloves. I'll be right back with you. All right, so I'm back. So I got me a syringe here, and I'm gonna go ahead and draw up some peroxide inside of here, and go ahead and irrigate inside these holes or these openings that I remove some of that chunky stuff. If you still see some debris down inside those holes or those openings that you make, reach in there and get them out. Because otherwise, as this closes up, you don't want it to close up over top of these. You'll have a mess. You'll be back to square one again. I apologize. This is such a bloody procedure, but this is the real thing, folks. I always tell you guys I want to show you guys what it's really like in honest videos. This is like being at work. All right. Now I don't close these up, I just leave them open. You leave them open to allow them to drain, and as the swelling goes down and as it starts to heal, these skin areas they'll close up on their own. And this is a messy procedure, so make sure you got your clothing protected, and definitely don't wear white when you're working on something like this, y'all. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put some antibiotic ointment on these. Like I say, sorry for putting my hands in front of you guys. I know it's probably hard for y'all to see. I'm just gonna lather it on real thick. Uh-oh, I know, Mama. I know, Mama. I know, Mama. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and get this one dressed up. Oh, girl, you are kicking stuff all over the place. Holy cowbunga. I got my sister here today as my assistant. I tell you what, I couldn't have done this one by myself. Woo-wee. This was tough. Usually I got them by myself, or sometimes I have a little bit of help, but there's a lot of times I'm doing it by myself too. If this vet tape does not stick to itself, you just kind of pull it just a little bit tighter. Now, when you apply your dressing, you want to keep an eye on your chicken. Make sure the toes aren't, oh, piece of toenail crazy there, hard calcium. Make sure the toes are not turning blue or black, because that could be a sign that you're not getting good circulation. So, want to keep an eye on that. All right, let me clean her up. We'll show you the final product. All right, y'all, final result. She's checking out her new feet. Hey, listen, when you guys have to perform a procedure like this or anything different about your chickens, make sure that you put them in a cage separate from the other chickens. Otherwise, they will have a pecking good time, y'all, and they will injure the chickens. So I'm going to put her in a nice little cage separate from everybody. It's going to be padded with straw. I'm going to give her some good old treats and some water and feed, and we'll be back. Well, Miss Daphne is in her cage. She's going to be staying in here for a couple of days, so she is enjoying some sweet feed, and also got some corn. Some good old feed, y'all. Thanks for watching, y'all. Hit that like button, and better yet, subscribe, and that way you guys can see when I post videos. I really appreciate all of your support, and thank you guys for watching. Y'all have a good night. Bye. All right, next day, here's an update. Y'all can see Miss Daphne is doing just fine. She's over here chilling. Right next to her, I've got some baby chicks, so they in here keeping her company. I'm sure all their little chirping all night last night. Kept her wide awake from all that racket. But anyway, she's doing all right, y'all. So I just wanted to show you an update.